Oh, mercy. So I'm seeing that Maycee Barber. All right, so this shit is This Week in MMA. It's been so many different little weird things that happen in MMA. We talked about some sad, some disappointing things with the flyweight division. We talked about some fucking head scratchers. This shit is funny as hell. This is very funny. First, Maycee Barber says she's calling out Mackenzie Dern. I didn't pay any attention to it because I just thought that she was wanting to fight, I guess, Mackenzie Dern because she's ranked, and then she's a weak fighter. Mackenzie Dern is strong with the BJJ. She's strong on the ground, but it showed that she doesn't quite know how to get a fight to the ground. Like, she needed to work on her wrestling, her takedowns. She needed to work on that for the more elite fighters. And then also the wild striking, it'll get her far, but I'm not sure where it'll get her with an elite striker, right? So I thought maybe Maycee Barber was trying to call Mackenzie Dern out because Maycee Barber would clip Mackenzie Dern shit up. I believe so. Maycee Barber is she's a striker. She is a striker. She's a little bit too evasive for me. Like gosh, how can I explain it? I don't mind an evasive fighter, but when you're going against somebody who's aggressive, you need to have the fight IQ needs to be pretty high. They don't pose that much of a threat, except that they could catch you. They don't mind putting their damn chins in the air, and Mackenzie Dern will put her chin in the air because she's not taking power from a lot of these fighters that she's fought so far. So I thought she was just calling out Mackenzie Dern because Mackenzie Dern has a name. But that wasn't even it, man. When I opened up the article and finally saw the second half of the article, it says that Mackenzie Dern ducked Maycee Barber. I had to watch it. Maycee Barber said, she definitely wants her next fight to be March 2nd against Mackenzie Dern because she said Mackenzie Dern ducked me back in LFA. She ducked me when we were at LFA. Mackenzie Dern had a lot of fights at LFA. So did Maycee Barber. She said she ducked me. LFA offered me this fight against Dern. She turned it down. Right? Then she said LFA came back around, offered me the fight again, and Mackenzie Dern turned it down a second time. That is a duck. That does sound like a duck to me because Maycee Barber, I'm not sure what she looks like on the ground. In my opinion, I'll just say amateur hour on the ground. Amateur hour. But the stand-up fighting, it's pretty good. I mean, it really is pretty good. She knows how to throw her punches and her kicks. She knows how to throw her elbows, her knees, right? So she's a very comprehensive striker. So I can see somebody looking over at little Maycee Barber. They're both the same-ish age. I believe that Mackenzie Dern has maybe a couple of years on her, but not too much. They're in the same age range. They're definitely peers, age mates. Definitely age mates. So, you're looking at somebody, you're like, I'm trying to get my shine, and this little girl's trying to come up and take my shine. I'm not sure if I want that yet. Let me build a little bit of a resume. Great call out, Maycee Barber. Really great pre-fight call out. Now, we need to see what your debut looks like. We first need to see what your debut looks like, and it's going down tonight, so that's all good. I'm excited to watch Maycee Barber do her debut. Not necessarily, I'm excited how I would be excited for any female fighter, because she is so young. She did go in there and miss weight. She had a half a pound that she needed to take off. So it's just, it is what it is. I want the best for her. She's 20, got great striking, so I want to see what she looks like. I'm not on the hype train yet. Not on the hype train yet. Definitely not on the Mackenzie Dern hype train. Dern did some questionable things for me this year. The missing weight, you can't respect that. But then also, like the MMA lab, that might be camp of the year. That might actually be camp of the year. And if John Crouch couldn't deal with you and he had to send you packing, if he had to tell you to gather your shit, get the fuck out, that makes me question who you are as a professional fighter. As a professional fighter. So definitely not on the Mackenzie Dern anything. But she's a young fighter too. She can turn it around and she's undefeated. So she can kind of keep that rolling and hopefully turn that around. But the only thing I can say about this is it's fun call out. It's fun to think about. But Maycee Barber and Mackenzie Dern, they will not fight anytime soon. These two are darlings. When you are a female fighter, you come out of LFA, you're a darling. I'm just going to be very honest with you. You are a darling. You will get a little bit of preferential treatment. You will. It's not quite like Invicta. Not quite like Invicta, you know. You see Invicta fighters come out and they just go through the rankings. You see the LFA fighters come out and it is a little bit of a pick. It's a little bit of a darling moment. You know, these are our darlings. Holly Holm was their darling. Now, don't get me wrong. Holly Holm went through the fire. She fought everybody. But these two fighters, way too young. Maycee Barber, elite striker. Mackenzie Dern, elite BJJ artist. They're not gonna see each other for a while unless they both get to the top. We're gonna have to watch these fighters for a couple of years. You know, they're too young. Watch them for a couple of years. If they both make it to the top, then we'll see them go head to head. But at the moment, it's all just, Maycee Barber spilling a little bit of tea, which I was impressed with. I was impressed with Maycee Barber opening her mouth like that. Some of these MMA journalists, he said, do you think it's a good thing that the fighters don't want to, open up their mouth and talk too much shit? Stop. When you ask a person that question when they're 20 years old, it makes them feel like this is how they have to be. She was like, no, you don't always have to talk crap. You have to, you can just fight and show up. If you show up in the octagon, then no. If you show up in the octagon, then that's what you did. You showed up in the octagon. If you show up in the octagon and you show up on the microphone in front of media, then you've done both. Stop interpreting shit. Just take it as it is, period. This is your career. You have to take it by the horns. Don't listen to anybody. When you get the microphone, make that shit worth it. Make it worth it. You don't have to talk crap about anybody. You do not have to disrespect anybody, but you need to learn how to give a speech that'll captivate an audience. That's all that it's about, period. So I don't want Maycee Barber to be swayed by anybody. I don't want any of these fighters to be swayed by anybody that tells them, oh, do you feel like it's great that these fighters aren't talking too much and that they're kind of letting it be shown in the octagon? That's not a question. Basically, what you're telling a person is you have a platform. You're going to use half of your platform, just the fighting part of it. The other half, you're just going to tell people, don't worry about what I do here on the microphone. Watch me in the octagon. And what you just did is you gave a very boring advertisement for the fight. When you get the microphone, you need to give a good advertisement for the fight. You need to be telling people, fireworks on Saturday night, 25th anniversary for the UFC. Fireworks in the Maycee Barber fight. Just doubt me if you want to. Now, I understand that it takes a lot of guts to get in there and talk highly about your fight, because you could go in there and get beat up. But if you don't gamble on yourself, who will? Anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts in the comment section.